My name is Martin. I've been studying charisma and communication skills for 3 years straight, and in today's video, I'm about to expose the 3 most important strategies in conversations. And you know what? I'm going to destroy a lot of businesses today, because a lot of these stupid influencers out there like to tell you that top 5 tricks and tips how to improve your... Shut the fuck up with these stupid dumbass tricks and tips. Today I'm gonna show you practical information that you can literally apply today. And just for you to know that I'm a trustable source, I have 30 friends at my local gym, I have a 12-year-old friendship with my best friend, and I have a 1-year-old relationship with my girlfriend with 0 arguments. The first thing that we need to talk about is how to enter a conversation, because when you are meeting someone for the first time or you are meeting your old friend for a very long time, you naturally want to start with small talk. But a lot of these dumbass, stupid influencers will tell you how to master small talk, how to be good at small talk. But the honest truth is to skip small talk altogether. The only people who stay in the small talk category are people who are afraid to go further, deeper into the conversation, because they are afraid of being judged. So if we go immediately into the deep conversation, people will actually appreciate that. But just to not go crazy fast, we will first ask a icebreaker. Something like, how are you doing today? Great icebreaker. After this one sentence has been said, now we need to immediately get out of the small talk. And I'm gonna exactly show you how. High-low buffalo is a strategy that is used if you want to get to know someone ritually in your first 3 sentences. It works like this. First, you ask, what high moment of your life has happened to you recently? Maybe their salary got increased, maybe they benched 100 kg, maybe they got married. They will tell you something really important about their lives. Then second question will be low. That means what really negative happened in their lives. Maybe their grandma died, maybe their business is not doing so great. Whatever they will respond, that will count as low. And then finally is the buffalo, something that you would never guess about the other person. So when asking about the buffalo, you can ask something like, what is the most interesting thing about you that people a lot of times don't know? See, that is gonna create that spark that something interesting is actually happening in the conversation. And really importantly, what high-low buffalo creates is that it gives you multiple different conversation topics. That means if you ask someone, tell me something cool about you, something that has been really positive recently. Tell me something that has been really negative, and tell me something interesting. You see? Now you have 3 different threads that you can hook on to. You can now pick which one you want to talk about. For example, if you want to be empathetic and give them your soul and listen to them, then you can pick the low, the negativity, and try to help them with that. Then on the second thing, if you want to be more positive, more energetic, and try to have fun with them, then go for the positive 100%. And if you just want to get to know them on a much greater level, then you will go for the buffalo and you will ask more about the buffalo. See, that's how we immediately create the conversation. That's how we immediately go into the flow state in the conversation without being needy, pushy, or just stupid. But yes, it might be really awkward, it might be really weird to ask someone that, tell me something interesting, tell me something negative, and tell me something positive. The best way how you can frame this is to ask that person to play a game with you. Would you like to play a little game with me? And tell me, who doesn't like games? Everyone would like to play a game with you, and you will just say, you will tell me one very negative thing about you, one very positive thing about you, and then one very interesting thing that a lot of people don't know about you. And immediately you will say yours and they will say theirs, and now you have 3 different threads that you can hook onto. Shh, and by the way, I've created a very special charisma calculator, so you can calculate by mathematical numbers how charismatic you truly are. So if you want to get the charisma calculator, message me on Instagram. The link is down below and it's completely for free. Now that we know how to never get into the small talk ever again, it's time to actually continue the conversation, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how. The most important strategy when you are entering a conversation is conversation threading. Let me show show you how 99 of stupid and dumb people approach conversations. They have one topic, they move from that topic to another, they move from that topic to another, they move from that topic to another, and they go like this forever and forever and forever. And this is the most boring way how you can structure your conversations. And let me tell you how this will look in real life. Hey bro, what have you been doing today? Oh, I have been in a forest with my family. And by the way, how many siblings do you have? See, it is completely unrelated. You're not flowing the conversation. You are just jumping from one thing to another, from one thing to another. And then guys are asking me, why don't I get girls? Because you are in a interview-like conversation. You are asking her, how many pets do you have in your household? Nobody cares. She doesn't care. You frankly don't give a shit because you just want to fuck her and you want to have a relationship with her. And she doesn't also care because she needs to get to know you. She doesn't care about her stupid pets. She cares about you. And you care about her. So why don't you just ask about her? Not about her pets, not about her family, about her. That's why if I say to someone, what have you been doing today? And they say to me, I have been in a forest with my family. See? I will not go to, how many siblings do you have? How many pets do you have at home? I will immediately go to, oh, what have you been doing in that forest? Were you on a picnic? Were you on a hike? See, there is a question of what they have just said. The 1% of conversationalists go just in one topic. They don't need to ask a million different other questions. They stay in that topic. They stay and they repeat in that topic questions. So if I ask someone, what have you been doing today? And they tell me that I was in a forest with my family, I immediately stay in that topic. I don't go suddenly, how many pets do you have? No. I stay here and I tell them, what have you been doing in that forest? They say, I was on a picnic. And I ask her, what have you been eating on that picnic? And then they say, I was eating cookies. And have you seen some interesting animals in that forest? See, that is the conversation threading. We are moving in the same topic over and over again. We are not staying and jumping over one topic to another like an ADHD TikTok scroller, but we are staying in the same topic for a longer period of time. So we let the other person talk about what is actually interesting and what they want to talk about. And then I'm gonna give you something really advanced, okay? Because I want to destroy some businesses today. If someone were to say to you, I have been in a bar with my friends, it was super fun. The conversation threading strategy works like this. You have multiple different threads, like spider strings that you can pull on in this sentence. And it is up to you which one you find the most interesting. So for example, if someone is really into drinking and really into alcohol and bars, they might pull the string of bar and they will ask the person, listen bro, in which one have you been in? Was it on this street, blah, blah, blah. And they will start talking about the bar. Then you have another thread and that is friends. And someone who might be really popular in town might ask, oh, have you been with Simon? Have you been with David? With how many friends have you been in? Were you with this group of friends or this group of friends? That one sentence can be pulled into multiple different directions. And that is up to you which one you find the most interesting. But the thread that I would personally pull on is the word fun. And I would ask them something like, what was the most fun thing you guys did there? See, there is a completely different shift. Someone might ask about the bar, that is completely fine. Someone might ask about the friends, but someone might ask about the fun. So if you want to have much more fulfilling conversations, the best thing that you can do is to pull on strings that actually interest you. Because this is like a 50-50 yin-yang. On the one hand, you are talking about what really interests you. So in this case, it might be fun. But on the other hand, you are also letting the other person to express themselves. See, we are talking about what we like, that is the word fun in this case, but on the other hand, we are making the other person feel absolutely amazing. because they are expressing themselves. And after I ask the person what has been the most fun thing you guys did there, then again that person will respond with something like, we got into a fight with the bodyguard. And then I can again thread the conversation and ask them, oh, was anyone injured? That is continuing the conversation from one way to another, from one way to another, not from one topic to another. Imagine if now I were to ask him, listen bro, how many siblings do you have? After he told me he got into a fight with a bodyguard, now I will just jump into another topic. That doesn't make any sense. That's why now I would be asking something like, was anyone injured? And then they will say, oh, nobody was injured. And see, this is really important. If they say, no, nobody was injured, for some people, this might be the end of the conversation. Because now, how are you gonna say anything now? But the 1%, what they will do in this situation, they will go all the way back. And they will now go to this thread, for example. And now they will spike up this thread. With how many friends have you been with? And again, this sparks another conversation and another and another. And after this one dies off like this one, you can go back and ask, in which bar have you been in? See, you are just staying in the same topic for a long period of time. You're not jumping to one or the other, you are staying in one where the person is comfortable with the talking. And this is exactly how you will have conversations like the top 1%. And now that we have covered conversations, let's now move to the most important part of this video, and that is your mindset. See, imagine if you were talking with someone and this person says something that you don't really like. For example, let's say that you don't like Donald Trump, and the person that you are talking to will say, oh, I love Donald Trump, he's the best thing ever. What 99% of people will do in this situation, they will start to argue with them, they will start to scream, and they will try to be so angry, and they will never message them ever again. But someone who is peak, who is in the top 1% of communication, will ask them, tell me, why do you think that? See, there is a huge difference in energy. One is aggressive, one is attacking the other person, one wants to beat that person up. But the other one is about empathy, is about understanding that the other person also has beliefs and boundaries. So instead of trying to beat that person up with your sentences, with your arguments, we will, instead of trying to dethrone them, we will try to listen to them. We will try to understand. We will not try to argue, but seek to understand their message. And after we completely grasped what they have meant by that, then we actually will know where this belief comes from. And this is the huge problem, because people assume, that this person loves Donald Trump because he does this, he does this, he does this. But after they ask, they realize, oh, this person loves Donald Trump because of his speaking skill, not because of his beliefs. See, if you ask, you will genuinely know what the person is about. Initially, you might think that this person loves Donald Trump because he did this, he did this, he did this. But if you just ask them, why do you exactly love Donald Trump? They will just say, oh, he's really good at communication. I am trying to learn communication skills from him. See? Don't try to assume. Seek to understand instead, because this is how 99% of people will turn off everyone around them. And then no wonder that people don't want to speak to them, because they have already destroyed the entire relationship by arguing with them instead of seeing to understand them. And that's the most important mindset I want to give to you at the end of this video. If someone action step for you today. If someone today tells you something that you don't agree with, do not argue with them and tell them, oh, you are wrong, you should change your beliefs. Instead, try to seek understanding. And you know what is actually funny? If you try to understand them, then naturally they will adopt your sense of thinking and they might even change their own belief because you started with kindness and empathy first and not with aggressive attacking. And then after you show them tons of empathy and tons of kindness to their belief, you might just end the sentence, oh, but I have a different opinion on Donald Trump. See, after sharing a lot of that awesome kindness, and you just said, oh, but I don't really appreciate Donald Trump because he did this and this. And the other person might be like, okay, fair enough, because you gave me kindness and respect first, so now I will repay you with kindness and respect back. See, it is the law of reciprocity. Once you give someone something, they will remember it, and then they will naturally give it to you back. So that's how you can improve your conversations and being in the top 1% of conversationalists out there. Shh. And by the way, because you got this far, I have a very special surprise for you. If you want to enter the most charismatic community full of people who are just like you, who want to become the most charismatic versions of themselves and become 10 times, even 100 more times charismatic, and get private coaching from me and get access to 30 plus hours of courses and lectures, and also you will be able to enter a room and everybody in that room will think of you as the most charismatic person in the entire room. Everyone will be shaking hands with you, all the girls will be looking at you, and nobody in that room will be a snake. And if you want to live a life like that, you can click the first link in the description. I'll be waiting for you right there. And if you want to know the strategy that got me 30 plus friends in just a single month, you can click this video right here. Live a happy life. Man!